Hey folks, this is Kalani. I'm going to be talking about the new trait system. So, our traits have changed in quite a few ways, and quite fundamentally. So, first things first, refund traits, available anywhere, anytime, for no cost. Now, what's changed is that the amount of traits we've got has been slashed by a factor of 5, meaning that we've only got 14 trait points to spend. The difference in the trait system is that essentially you're spending 5 points at a time. Instead of being able to, say, spend 2 in one and 3 in another, you're going to have to spend 5. So you're always guaranteed, whenever you spend a point, to get a minor, major, minor, major, minor, or major. So, that's nice. Now, another thing is that everything is listed on the left-hand side, meaning that you don't need to click on a trait anymore to try and see what you can have there. You can select them from the list here. And what's nice is that if you double click one and you haven't already spent the trait points, it'll treat it as it did before, meaning that to get that trait you will have to spend up to where that trait is available, which is cool. You also get a nice little tick. Now obviously that's all fine and dandy, and you can actually minus your traits now. So I mean, if you're not happy with the specific one trait maybe, but you don't want to refund them all to pop them all in again, you just take 2 out of Deadly Arts, let's throw them in Acrobatics, because why not? And then, obviously, if you want to reset everything, go ahead and refund your traits. Now, what's also interesting is that new traits have been added, new Grandmasters to every class in every skill line, or every trait line, I guess. Now, What's really odd about these is that you can get them from killing things. For example, Resilience of Shadows, I go defeat the Carca Queen, I unlock this trait. Now that's a really fun way to do it, actually gets you out in the world. The weird thing is, they let you bypass that entirely with gold and skill points. So if you go to your trainers, you can say, show me your guides, all of the new traits are there. Every single one of them is there. So you either go out hunting for them, which, don't get me wrong, is a really nice way to do it. That is a very nice way to do things like this. If they increase and add more traits, maybe if we go to a loner, there's a whole new trait skill tree, whatever you call it, that we have to attain. And to do that we have to go kill some of the rare monsters, some of the world bosses out in a loner. That's a really good way to do it. That is a really, really nice way to introduce new traits, especially if they're tied with new explorable areas. First and foremost, to put these on old bosses is quite lazy, in my opinion. Obviously we don't have any new content with this feature patch, so there's nothing really to tie them to, so I guess it does make sense. But it feels a little stale and odd, simply because it feels really... It doesn't feel as though you're necessarily exploring that area and getting the trait as a reward. You're having to do some legwork to get a trait which you might actually feel you deserve already, depending on how you look at things. But to put something in which can completely bypass that makes me question why they put it in at all. Because I almost guarantee someone's going to say, you know what, I've got plenty of scrolls for skill points in my bank. Don't really need 3 gold right now. I'll just buy up that trait. And suddenly that whole system of going and exploring is, well, A, irrelevant, and B, so lackluster that it apparently might not even get used. I mean, I know I personally just spent the gold because it's easier. I don't fancy going out to the Carca Queen. And I get my traits. I can play with them happily while I'm going. If it was, say, a new area, that would feel a lot nicer. If it was tied to something that we haven't explored or experienced in the game before, that would be nicer. I don't know, it feels a little pushed, I think, to throw it onto old content. But I don't know, that might be just me feeling a little meh about not having anything new to devour. But that's pretty much your traits. Most of them have stayed the same, as far as I'm aware, across the classes. I know a few have changed, so you know, pay attention to what you're creating. You might be creating a build which no longer works due to a trait or two being changed. I think have fun experimenting with the new ones. Some of them are actually quite fun. I was having quite a blast with my Feeth, which is, you know, not necessarily what you're used to, but it's fun either way. So that's the new trait system. If you have any questions or queries, please do leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.